Nostalgia.
So how did ETW start, Dominic?
This is where we were talking about Josh, getting the money or whatever. So I'm guessing he talked to his mom, and him and his sister decided we're gonna raise money, for Christmas or Easter. I'm not sure which one it was. And he bought that trampoline. So he says that he bought it with the idea of wrestling on it. So I must have been friends with him at the time because I remember him not having a trampoline at one point.
Were you ever not friends with him? Like you guys were essentially neighbors forever, right?
He did not live on the street when I moved there.
Okay.
Some other kid did, and then he moved in, and then we became friends very fast.
Word.
So I don't know when it would have happened exactly, but we're thinking maybe 2004. Early 2004. He got the trampoline, and then we had the triple threat match.
So this is when you got involved.
That is when I got involved. Yeah. I think, with me just wrestling, being super into wrestling, and then like Gary and Steve and BJ they weren't as passionate about it as I was, and they were going into other things, and they wouldn't really want to do that stuff. And then
because they're lame,
right?
It's probably when we started the scavenger hunts and stuff. Honestly,
yeah, legit. Because I remember we had it was like a school, it was a school day, and like Steve O'Shell had this piece of paper of stuff to do, and it was we had teams. We stole it from Viva La Bam. I remember.
It was awesome. Good times.
But then I knew I don't like Dom, because you and I were never super super close, but at some point, I guess I realized that you liked wrestling as well, and I don't know how the friendship really started.
I can't pinpoint it, but it was definitely wrestling related.
Yeah, and then
had to have been.
At some point, I think you and I must have been hanging out, and then we made our way down to Josh's, and then decided to have that triple threat match.
So we assume this triple threat match was ETW. And it was you as Beastie, me as Mad Dog, and Josh as Little J. And it's probably about 30 to 45 minutes of us doing suplexes on the count of 3. And then that was it. You won the match. I think there might have been a title involved. And then we it's that was it. That was our first technical episode, though I don't think we considered it ETW. But then I know that that was the greatest day of my life up until that day. I remember
that specific triple threat match.
I felt like I was on top of the world that day. Yeah. I was like, we're doing something. So I think I hit you up on AIM immediately, and I was like, we have to do this every single day. And it must have overwhelmed you, because you and I got into some kind of spat on AIM, and we were not talking for a while.
Right.
So I had to convince my mom to buy me a camera because I needed to wrestle. It was oh my God, this is it.
You were the engine in all of this. You were the one that's this is what the fuck we're doing.
I just needed to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh wanted to as well. So she got it for me. I also remember her saying, that comment that parents make is oh, I'll get this for you. You'll use it once and never use it again. And
right.
There it is.
It still works. Thanks, Mom. But yeah, so we get this camera, and then we just start.
You're just in
wrestling. It's just Mad Dog versus Little J 3 times a day. Then